Hello, beautiful people, wherever you're watching us from this morning. Welcome to a truly special edition of Ray's Breakfast. I like to call today's show a collabo because it's not just the breakfast lady holding it down. For today and tomorrow, we'll be joined by some bright, brilliant teenagers under the Ways Teens platform, lending their voices to social concerns that affect us all. And what better topic to kick things off than music and the science of happiness, a conversation that blends art, emotion, and even psychology. My name is Oluchi Omenka, and it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our teen anchors for today. Joining us online, we have Alpha Saleh, Oluwatominini Onitsujo. We have Lizina, Patrick, and of course my ladies here. Good morning, Alpha.
Morning, Oluchi. How are we doing?
I'm doing so well. How are you doing too?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure as well. Do we also have Lizina here? Good morning, Lizina. Patrick?
Good morning, Oluchi.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
I'm doing well as well. Good to see you. Well, I can't see you, but good to hear your voice. And then we have Tommy here as well. Tommy, good morning.
Good morning, Oluchi.
How are you doing today?
Thank you, and you?
Are you excited about our conversation for today?
I am. I'm an avid music lover, so I'm excited about that.
Amazing. All right, let's get to meet the ladies on the table. We have Goodness Idehe and Triumph Akimboye. Good morning, girls.
Good morning. Good morning to our team.
Yeah. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. It's so good to be back.
Back here, right?
It feels like it's been a long time. So it's so good to be back. And good morning. Good morning. I don't want to start mentioning the names.
And
good morning, Tommy. Tommy, I think this is my second time meeting Tommy again. Good morning, Tommy. Good morning, Lizina and Izine. It's so good to have you. Yes, I can see everyone now.
Looking all amazing. All right, so we're going to take a short break very quickly. When we come back, our teen anchors will lead us with the newspaper's review today. You don't want to miss any part of today's segment, so please stay tuned. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back, viewers. What are your thoughts on these historical milestones? I'd love to hear your insights and perspectives. Remember that our comment section is there for you, and our phone lines are open as well. Please call us on 0702-500-7749 or 0701-424-2420. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, head on now to the official Upgrade TV. Click the subscribe button, tune in to channel 145 on your GoTV, and be part of what happens here. So for our newspaper segment this morning, our teen anchors will be leading us with it, and I'll start with Alpha for the Guardian newspaper. Alpha, do we have you here?
Can we all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Let's have the Guardian.
Perfect. No problem. So the story I'm going to be taking today is from The Guardian, and the headline reads, "Over 5,000 cargoes trapped at ports amid 2 trillion naira demurraging of losses." And the story reads, "Clearing activities at Nigerian seaports have been halted or scaled down significantly in the past 2 weeks, leaving over 5,000 cargoes trapped. Port users claim to have lost an estimated 2 million naira in damage. This disruption of the port activities is caused by the persistent network glitches on the Nigeria Customs Service BODOGU digital platform, which has left manufacturers and other merchants incurring a huge loss. Coupled with the reintroduction of the 4% free on board, the effective cost of clearing, manufacturers have lamented, has risen by about 200%. They are also worried that much of the stock raw materials might not be useful when they're eventually released. So this story is essentially saying, because I was part of this category, demurrage means the cost that is incurred when, let's say, a trailer or sort of cargo is left at the port for an extended period of time beyond when it's supposed to have left that particular port. So 5,000 cargoes has essentially been trapped at, I think is it Tinkan and some other port, Papa, PTML, and it's essentially costing the people who are trying to export their goods over 2 trillion naira because it's been left there for too long of a time. And the reason why this is happening is because there have been glitches. The federal, or rather the government implemented the BODOGU digital platform to essentially make the entire process of importing and exporting easy for the buyers and the sellers. And there have been network glitches. And I think the person that is the chairman of this organization mentioned that hackers also tried to get into the platform. And there are many things that are causing. The story is kind of frustrating because I understand that export and import is one of the major ways that a country gains revenue. So if we are having our sellers that are trying to export out of the country losing so much, it's very discouraging because they know that if this is what they're going to end up seeing in the future, they'd rather just not try in the first place. And that causes our GDP as a country to tank. So honestly, my perspective on this is that we try to make our systems, our network, our technology systems a bit more robust. Because if a glitch can cause someone 2 trillion naira, then maybe we don't use the system. We have another way of doing it until we are sure that the system can work for what is intended. Because 2 trillion naira is a huge loss, and there are many manufacturers that have been complaining about this. A 40-foot container, if you have a 40-foot container, it has a daily demurrage of between 120 to 140,000. So within a couple of days of just your thing being delayed, you're already clocking 1 million, 2 million. That's very discouraging for anybody who wants to do any sort of exports. Mm-hmm. So if we want to use the system, my call to the government and to the people who are managing this is to ensure that it's robust. Immense fail safes and mechanisms. There are people that you can get on board who can build these things and ensure that it works. So that's my story.
Very interesting story. Thank you for highlighting that. And honestly, it's a very sad one. I don't always like to hear, huge amount of money like this just going into waste. And like you rightly mentioned, export, especially for us as a country, is how we generate revenue, both for the government and even the individuals as well. So seeing this amount of money just going down the drain that way is quite saddening. And I hope that, the necessary bodies ensure that this doesn't have a repeat. So let's have Lizina for the Punch newspaper.
Hello?
Hi, Lizina.
Yeah. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing the Punch News, and then my headline would be the 2027 PDP ticket zoning to South splits North. So the decision by the leadership of the People's Democratic Party to zone its 2027 presidential ticket to southern Nigeria has pitted various northern groups in different camps, with many describing the development as undemocratic and contrary to the spirit of fair competition. The National Executive Committee of the party, at its 102nd meeting on Monday, zoned the presidential ticket to the south, while retaining the current National Working Committee headed by Ambassador Umar Damagum. Although prominent northern figures in PDP, including foundation members like former Information Minister Professor Jerry Garner, have been in the forefront, urging the party to go south in a search of a candidate to vie against President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress. Some northern stakeholders have warned of the danger of losing significant votes in a region known for its voting strength. Speaking exclusively with the Punch on Tuesday, the national president of the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum, Yerima Shetima, stated that the PDP's decision to zone its ticket has raised many questions that require answers. So my highlights from this paper today is just that obviously the 2027 elections are coming real closer, and then lots of people are trying to put in things that can prevent what happened in the former election. And then, just like what he said before, the foundation members like Professor Jerry Garner are urging the party to go south, but that is causing a lot of questions and concerns. Like, for one, the party machination rather than genuine party processes. And this puts a constraint on their fundamental human rights, like the right of suffrage to be voted for and to vote, because there may be potential candidates from the North that may not be given an opportunity just because PDP believes that the right candidates will come from the South. This is also alienating the North from their right to vote because they would most likely go for a candidate from the North. And all of this is making people think that the APC's candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will likely leverage this opportunity to regain his incumbency. And with the support of the APC, and because he's a seasoned politician, will leverage this opportunity to be re-elected. And the North may find itself in a unique position, and this could lead to a strategic consensus in favor of Tinubu rather than PDP. My take from this is that Nigerians should really sit down and think about what they want in the next 4 years, because I'm sure nobody really wants a repeat of the last 4 years. And even though it's not over, nobody wants a repeat of this. And it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. Exchange rates are only going to get higher. Price of food is only going to get higher. Rent, price of everything is only going to get higher. So if we want our country to move forward rather than backward, we really need to think and bring out a candidate that will support everyone and will have everyone's view in mind.
All right, thank you. Do you have any take on her papers this morning?
I just wanted to say that, sometimes it saddens my heart that the people that are actually at the forefront of determining these things are not actually, the actual masses, like the masses. Because come to think about it, what we are facing, or what they're facing right now and talking about right now, is whether the candidate is going to be coming from South or from North. I think that should not be our focus presently as a country. But unfortunately, that's the kind of situation that we are in right now.
Yeah.
But let's see how it plays out. And like she said, the most important thing for us is to actually think about, the best person to do it, and not we coming out from maybe the north ticket, the south ticket, and this is beginning to actually split the party.
Yes, regional differences has always been one of the major, how I put it now, the things that surrounds politics. Mm-hmm. And funny how we think that we're just being ourselves, trying to choose a particular region, but I see the bigger picture of it, how that these politicians are leveraging on those your biases that you have, and then tweak everything to their favor. So I like, Lizina rightly mentioned, we really need to sit down and ask ourselves what we want for the next 4 years. All right, we have Tommy with the Tribune newspaper. Are you ready for us? Let's have the headlines.
Yes, I have the Tribune newspaper. Okay, the headline reads, Osun takes FG to Supreme Court over withheld local government allocations. The government of the Osun State has filed a suit at the Supreme Court of Nigeria against Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, over the alleged unlawful withholding of statutory allocations meant for its 30 local government councils since March 2025. In the originating summons filed on Monday on behalf of the Osun State by a team of lawyers led by Mike Ozekome San and Musibao Adetunbi San, the state is asking the Apex Court to compel the federal government to release all withheld funds and to stop what is described as an unconstitutional and arbitrary seizure of local government allocations. The plaintiff, Attorney General of Osun State, argued that the ADF failed to comply with subsisting judgments of both the Federal High Court, Oshogbo Division, delivered on November 30, 2022, and the Court of Appeal ruling on June 13, 2025, which recognized the local government chairman and councillors elected on February 22nd, 2025. The originating summons is supported by a 35-paragraph affidavit deposed to by the State Commissioner for Finance, Mr. Ogunbile Adeola Olushola. According to the summons, the AGF in March 26, 2025 letter had advised that the funds be withheld pending resolution of what he described as a local government crisis in Osun. However, the Osun State insists that the Court of Appeal ruling settled the matter, affirming the legitimacy of the February 2025 elections and nullifying the October 15, 2022 local government polls conducted under the previous administration. The state is seeking multiple declarations, including that the AGF has no constitutional power to withhold local government allocations, nor to act in contravention of valid court judgments. It also wants the Supreme Court to order the immediate release of all allocations withheld since March to be paid directly into the accounts of the duly elected councils. Among its prayers, Osun is asking for a perpetual injunction restraining the AGF from withholding, suspending, or seizing local government funds in the future, so long as democratically elected councils are in place in the state. The seizure, suspension, withholding, and or refusal to pay the allocations and revenues due to the constituent local government councils of the plaintiff state is unconstitutional, unlawful, wrongful, and ultraviolates the power of the defendant. Part of the suit reads. The summons emphasized that by virtue of Section 7 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, the existence of democratically elected local government councils is guaranteed, and that the AGF is duty-bound under Section 287 to enforce decisions of the court, not undermine them. The plaintiff raised the following 5 issues for determination: whether having to regard the clear and ambiguous provisions of Section 287, 2 and 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, which mandates all authorities, persons, including the defendants herein, to enforce the decisions of the Court of Appeal and the Federal High Court of Nigeria. Is the defendant not under a constitutional obligation to enforce or give effect to the judgment of the Federal High Court of Chubu Judicial Division, delivered on the 30th day of November 2022, in suit number FHCOSCS 103-2022, and more particularly the ruling of the Court Appeal delivered on 13th of June 2025. Whether the Federation, acting through the defendant in its capacity as the Chief Law Officer of the Federation, can in any form whatsoever assume the constitutional role of this Honorable Court as it appears to have done, and or attempted to in an affidavit of urgency which it caused to be filed before the federal government on the 13th of August 2025. So it's a long story,
Really
but
long.
finally the state further accused, yes, really long. But in summary, basically, Osun State local government funds have been withheld and they are at the Supreme Court, but there has been no decision yet. And they are saying that the federal government has no constitutional rights to withhold those funds because they deserve the local government allocations, and that's for 30 local governments. And that has been since March, and we are in August, ending of August. So, of course, the Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. We look forward to seeing what they're going to say. There has been no court dates decided yet, but hopefully this resolves itself.
Yeah, truly. I remember one time, I think earlier last week, where we saw a statement that said that the governor of Osun State, alongside David Doe, took from their pockets to, sort out these funds and everything. So I hope that it's sorted. There's one story that we have not mentioned here across all the papers. I think goodness we're going to highlight it, the ASUU strike protest and what's been happening. I think, Tommy, you are at the... You're at the forefront of, feeling this. What do you have to say about the ASUU strike, the protest, and what's happening currently? What's going on in your school?
Honestly, in school, there's not that much going on because we're still writing exams. I have a paper left. I don't think there has been any decision. I'm hoping there's no permanent decision. Mm-hmm. But like I said yesterday, it's going to have a ripple effect on everybody if there is a strike. I really pray there won't be. And as much as I want to be sad about it and take the human interest angle and be like, oh, but we're in school. They also have their families. They also have bills to pay, and you can't really blame them. And it just hurts me that this is a recurring issue. Why can't we just settle it at once and let these people's salaries be paid?
Exactly our
Why do we
thoughts
have to
yesterday.
go on and how many strikes have we had in the past 5 years? I think this is an issue that needs to be addressed once and for all. And they should just be very efficient in giving people their money. They work. It's not like they're not trained up to work on a daily basis. So please pay them their salaries. That's what I have to say.
Very correct. Thank you so much, Alpha, Tommy, and Lizina. We're going to take a short break now. When we return, we're diving straight to the hot topic for today. So you do not want to go anywhere. We'll be right back shortly.
I describe myself as a polyhumanitarian, someone who believes politics should be rooted in love for country and empathy for its people. I'm thrilled to introduce to you Politics Uncensored, a show dedicated to tackling the political challenges that matter most to Nigerians. This is more than just a show. It's a space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the issues that shape our nation. From policy reforms to elections, leadership tussles to governance at all levels, and the overall political landscape in Nigeria. We will dive deep into how politics is impacting our everyday lives. So join me on this journey as we challenge the status quo, spark dialogue, and work together to build a brighter future for Nigeria. Let's make our voices heard and drive the change we deserve.
Dearest viewers, you're probably listening to music right now, or maybe us, and you might not even realize what it's doing to your brain. Researchers have found that music has a profound effect on our mood, our memories, and our overall well-being. It can release a powerful cocktail of chemicals in our brains, including dopamine, which is a key player in pleasure and reward. It can also reduce levels of the stress hormone, cortisol. And the big question now is, what is it about certain beats, melodies, or lyrics that can instantly shift our mood? And can we consciously use music to make ourselves happier and more focused? Of course, before I get into the nitty-gritty of the conversation and start asking the technical stuff, let me first start with our online teenagers that have joined us this morning. Alpha, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, so I'd just like to ask this question very quickly. So what music has been on repeat for you this past few weeks or days?
I listen to a lot of instrumentals, and a lot of worship songs as well. So I would say those two.
So can you give us one, just like, I mean, in title of anyone? Maybe I should try them out and see if you have good taste with music.
First of all, to an extent, that's very subjective, so please. But then one song that I always play at the beginning of every day is No Eye Has Seen by David Dam.
I'm taking note of that. I'm going to go listen. All right, let me take the question now to Tommy. Tommy, I know this is exam period, and in fact, let me even take it back to my own time in school. Music did help me stay longer with reading. I do not know if that's what's happening to you right now. So which particular song has been on repeat for you?
Okay, so I personally don't read with music. It distracts me. But when I do have breaks or when I'm feeling overwhelmed, especially during exam season, I have songs that are on repeat. In fact, I have like 5 that have been rolling over since the start of exams. But currently, one I'm obsessed with is it's a Yoruba song. It's a worship song, Iye by Paul Tomisin. And that song has been on repeat since yesterday. And it's just a very calming song. So I just use music to calm myself and stay grounded when I get overwhelmed or stressed, especially during this exam season.
That's amazing. Nobody is talking about, you know, the Raz, Afrobeat kind of music. Everybody loves. I mean, I've heard some people listen to I Go Match Up during the exam preparation.
It might give them
And I'm like,
inspiration.
To match what?
do you,
What do you want to match?
honestly,
Match
The lecturer that wants to mark your script.
Match failure.
interesting. Let's hear from Lizina. How about you? What has been on repeat for you this past few days?
So for me, I think I'll probably say worship music as well. I really like to, worship and get into my feelings. For me, it will probably be Heart for Hallelujah by Brandon Lake. And then I also like listening to Rihanna as well and a lot of old school and a bit
Okay.
of Afrobeat here and there sometimes too.
Ah, that's amazing. That's a perfect blend of you've gone to every genre. All right, let me get to my ladies now. Are you as inspirational as our teenagers or your genre is different? What do you listen to very frequently?
Okay, so let me start by saying that I am not really a fan of music.
That's strange.
Yes, it's very strange, right? I know, but I'm not somebody that I listen to songs, but I'm not really somebody that listens to songs like a lot. So I would say that in the past few weeks, there's really not been any song that I've been listening to because of my interest with music, right? So let me stop with that so that
How about you, Goodness?
I can have another person.
Okay. So you want me to let me take you back a little bit,
Oh,
right?
take us
So
But not too bad.
yeah,
Just-
not too bad. But first, I'll just give you two songs, right? So the first song I usually listen to most times when I'm in like my lowest state. Not Ebenezer. I'm not like
Like
most of
Tomi.
our
Tomi
teens.
listens
All
to
of
Yoruba
them,
songs.
there's
That's
something
amazing.
common among them, Christian music. I listen to Christian music a lot. And before I let the cat out of the bag. So there's this song I used to listen to. Since us six, I'm writing the story. I know
Okay.
So right, whenever I listen to that music and the beat with the rhythm, I don't know, there's this kind of vibe it gives me that, oh yes, the future is bright, that kind of stuff. That
So it
nobody knows my
evokes
story
a
from.
particular emotion for
Yeah.
you. And I think
But subsequently after that now, the Holy Spirit helped me, quickened my spirit. So I had to do away with those Afrobeat
worthy as we
music.
term it.
Yeah.
To
Then
listen to
I
Christian
tuned
songs.
to Christian music.
Interesting. I think I have a blend of everyone as well. Currently, what has been on repeat is, what's her name? The singer that just gave birth. Chinwo, Mercy
Okay,
Chinwo,
yeah, Mercy
So
Chinwo.
this new song of hers, Unyoma, right? That's what I've been
Okay.
listening to. And because it has this very danceable feel to it, so I listen to it when I'm doing my chores, I listen to it when I want to distract myself, and it does evoke emotion. So from everyone that has spoken, we've seen how that, the songs that we listen to somehow has a way it helps the start of our day or even any of our activities. But my question now, I want us to even tilt towards sad music. There's this trend where people listen to sad music when they
you're
are feeling sad.
heartbroken.
I even saw one meme somewhere. So somebody said that I was feeling sad, and then my playlist, I had some sad music that I was listening to. Then all of a sudden, it just changed to something else, and I had to change it back because I wanted to go back to that emotion of sadness. So I want to ask, let me start with Tommy firstly. Why do we listen to sad music when we're sad? Do you think it's a way of processing emotion, or it's just the ultimate release for our inner disgust?
Well, I used to be that person that would feel sad, and then I had like a sad playlist with all the sad songs, and I would play those. But I noticed that this is really not doing anything for me, and I would play these songs, and I'd end up feeling worse, and I'm like, so what's the use? So I stopped that. When I'm sad now, I try play music or sometimes, and I don't necessarily listen to upbeat songs, but at least songs that have lyrics that can at least uplift my spirits, not the ones that will make it even go worse. So I don't listen to sad songs when I'm sad anymore.
How about you, Alpha? Why do you
Sorry.
have Alpha here?
Is the,
Okay.
the
Why do you
sorry.
have Alpha here?
Is the,
Okay.
the question is whether I
Okay, I think let me even tweak the question. Sorry, Alpha, to
Okay.
interrupt you. Let me ask
No
you
problem.
this one. Do you believe that the effectiveness of music is more about the melody and rhythm or the lyrics? Or better, should I say, can a sad song with a great beat still make you happy?
Okay. I believe it's ideally a combination of both, because what happens is, if you look at music theory, there are certain sounds that are naturally associated with certain feelings. Now, I play piano, so I'm going to use that perspective to explain what I mean. If you're learning for the first time, you learn that there are two major types of chords. There are major chords and there are minor chords. Now, major chords, because of the distance between the notes, they have a way of making you feel happy. So if you play a song with major chords, you feel a lot happier. But minor chords usually tend to make you feel sad. So what I've noticed and what I've seen in research is that those types of chords, depending on what kinds of chords they are, they provoke emotions. But then it's now the lyrics that adds to those emotions that catalyzes your belief. So how you end up feeling after that, it's like the music just is a catalyst, but the lyrics is what you're actually absorbing because it's what you're listening to, most of the time. So that's how I've seen it for me. If you had happy music with happy sounding music with sad lyrics, honestly, it feels like a contradiction. Both of them kind of have to work together to produce a certain effect.
All right, how about Lizina? Can we have your own take on this question?
Well, I totally agree with Alpha. It's probably a combination of both. You can't have happy lyrics with a sad tune. It's not going to work together. Or you can't have sad music with sad lyrics with a happy tune. So I think for me, when you talked about the listening to sad music when you're sad, for me, I would probably not want to do that because when I'm sad, I want to uplift myself. And music actually does so much more than we actually know. And then it's actually meant to be therapeutic. So when you're feeling sad, you should probably listen to something that can uplift you and all. And yes, probably the combination will also work better too if you, when you're sad, obviously, listen to happy music that has happy lyrics. It'll probably make you feel so much better.
All right, you guys have all spoken well, but then I did a bit of research and then I saw that, psychologists actually call that mixture a paradox of sad music. So I'm going to read something here. It says, on the surface, it seems odd if you're down. Why feel it? But sad music actually triggers the brain's prolactin release, and that's a hormone linked to comfort. It's the same hormone that calms us after crying. So sad songs actually don't just deepen sadness, they can actually soothe it. And there was a case study in 2014 from Durham University that found that people reported pleasure from sad songs, saying it helped them process emotions that they couldn't express verbally. So in short, sad music is emotionally therapy in disguise and not just teenage anger. So I think there are different angles. It can actually feel the sadness even more. And I think maybe let's even give that sadness context, maybe heartbreak now. When you listen to, I'm trying to think of one heartbreak song. I've not been heartbroken recently, thanks to Jesus. So I've not had to listen to anyone. But, heartbreak songs can somehow make you feel like, oh, you've got your life together. We can still go back, to get, that happiness and pleasure again. So it's a perfect mix. Do you agree with that?
Something. I don't totally agree. What I have to say is that there are actually certain songs that you sing to get certain result. If you're sad, maybe you're broke, there are certain songs you listen to.
Your own context of sadness is the financial.
Yes, let's talk about the financial part, right?
Okay.
So there's certain songs that you listen to when you're broke that it is for you to become, for you to, I don't want to say become rich, for you to actually see a better way to long time. Because there is a way music affects your mind. Music affects the productivity that comes with the way you think. Now, for example, if you play certain songs, maybe some songs that I used to hear or I used to listen to maybe 5 years ago, it puts me back in the memories of those period, in the same mood that I was. Maybe a certain song, once you play it, I can remember exactly how I felt at that period. And if, for some people that are really extreme, if it's maybe a terrible song, they are back in that same mood. And you're years later, what's going on? So I think music is something that sometimes there is a way we should use it. If music can actually put you back in a certain mood or makes you, think about a better way to see something, then why sit with something that actually kind of, deepens it in a way? So let's leave a particular song that is sad to a song that even in your downtime, okay, this is a song that will actually be the next level for whatever it is that I want to do. So that is my
But have you seen it this way? Someone who
that.
is sad, many times when people are very down, they just like to feel like there's somebody that can connect with them with that emotions. Do you get it? For example, if I am heartbroken, I am very heartbroken. I mean, they broke my heart into different pieces. And then I'm listening to a song that somehow connects with that particular emotion of mine. I don't think it's supposed to amplify the emotions. It's not supposed to make me feel like I'm not alone in this matter. Comfort. That's why I feel like some people still get pleasure and comfort even from sad songs when they are sad, as regards to deepening the sadness. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Goodness, what do you have to say before we go on a short break?
Okay, there's something I wanted to add to what she said concerning how some songs, some sad music take you back. Like, for instance, it's been over time where, or it, will I say it has been something of a cliche that they say a music, there's a spirit always behind the music, right? Yeah, so whatever music you're listening to, there's this kind of aura it gives you, right? So you are listening to a sad music, depending on the varieties, because we have different genres of sad music, right? Okay. There's always a spirit behind it that will put you in that mood. And that's why music have the very strong power to, deal with your emotions or your feelings. So for instance, if for myself, if I want to listen to a sad music, I listen to a sad music, but not that maybe I get, sunk up into that my sad state. It just placed me on like a neutral balance where I have to like rethink, oh, this have happened, so what should I do next? That kind of stuff. So that's for me, that's how sad music works.
All right, we're going to take a very, very short break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation, music and the science of it, or maybe the spirituality of it, as Goodness have imputed. Please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. All right, welcome back. Today's segment is a very interesting one. I do not just have my ladies on the table. I've been joined by amazing teenagers. I call today's segment a collab of Raise Breakfast Team and Ways Teens Takeover. And we've been talking about music and the science of happiness. Of course, we've mentioned a number of things, how sad music have a way of either amplifying your sadness or maybe helping you gain some sort of, control over your emotions. But we've not spoken about the lyrics to music. I think that we are in a world where people just vibe to certain music because sometimes it's trending, right? You just, everybody's singing it. I think there's this song that I have really not sat down to listen to it, but everybody sings it. Every time I hear that, I'm like, what are they really saying? But I haven't
on TikTok. On TikTok, they use it as a challenge.
Exactly. So I want to now ask Martini, just before we bring it to the table here, do you think that the artists actually matter to how you vibe to a song? Can a song made by an artist that you don't like still have the same positive effect on your brain? And how do you even view lyrics in music as well? Are you pro beats or pro lyrics? Let's have it. Who wants to go first? Can I have Tommy first?
Okay, so for me, I'm actually pro lyrics, and I believe that even if you don't like an artist, if the song, for me personally, if the song makes sense, then I'll listen to it. And then also the lyrics too, because I found out that what you say to yourself, what you say from your mouth actually matters a lot. Like now, let's say an artist comes out with a song and they're saying they are poor, they cannot find love, but because it has a good beat, you now start singing it. To me, it doesn't make any sense. And I mostly go about with vibe as well, even though I don't necessarily listen to an artist. Let's say it's trending on TikTok or like a lot of people are talking about the song. I may listen to it. Just like what you were saying about Macham. There's this
Yes.
song that was trending on TikTok, Escaladizi. I've never heard of the artist before, but because everybody was
Listen.
talking about this song and like everybody was making TikToks about it, then I just found myself listening to it and saying, okay, let me actually listen to it. Let me see, like, is there anything actually about this song? Would I eventually like it in the long run? But yeah, I think lyrics really do matter a lot with what you're singing, especially with your mood, because like you said, music has a lot of effects on your brain. And I think for me, the most powerful one that a lot of people don't really think about is that it's really therapeutic. With, let's say, a lot of people that have mental health conditions, music has actually been employed to help manage these problems like depression and anxiety. So the lyrics that you say to yourself when you're in a down state, let's say you're depressed, if you continue saying that you're sad or you're fearful,
You
that
live
will
up
be
to
what
it.
is going to show in your life. But if you listen to uplifting music and you say, oh, you're happy, you're bright, you're smart, eventually you start seeing this happening in your life and you're actually manifesting without, you're unconsciously manifesting without knowing it. Yes.
All right, Alpha, what do you have to say about this? Do you think the artist matters and the lyrics as well? Are you pro the beats? Let's just dance and feel happy.
I, like Lazina, I believe strongly in the lyrics of the music. I've never really been a person that is a fan of any one artist. Like I listen to all these guys' songs. It's the song itself that matters to me personally. So who the artist is really is of no consequence. But then there was something that Lazina touched on that I would like to just also mention, especially concerning your contributions, Oluchi, and the ones from Triumph, I believe. So what you were explaining was catharsis, when somebody is going through a feeling of depression, sadness, and it's like somebody coming to give them like a hug. So
Yes.
music can do that to people. But then the thing is, you also have to balance that catharsis with an action point afterwards, some sort of result that you want to get. So yes, the person is heartbroken and then they're feeling down and then you give them a hug. But then do they stay sulking on their couch for the next 2 weeks? No, you want them to get up and begin doing something productive with their life. And the problem with sad music, at least the listening to it for extended periods of time, is that there is a point at which it becomes more detrimental to your health than comforting. So it can only comfort you so much. At a point when you've been comforted, you now have to begin to take active steps to move out of that rut that you've been in. So if you keep on listening to that sad music, even after that point beyond which you shouldn't be comforted but provoked to take action, then what happens is that the sad music now begins to influence the way you think and reinforce you being in that state instead of getting you out of it. So it can comfort you for a brief period of time, but then after that comfort, you need something that gets you out of that state because it's not an ideal state to be in. If you keep on listening to sad music post that point, then it just reinforces you staying there and needing the comfort.
Beautiful input. How about you, Tommy? What do you have to say?
Well, I'm definitely pro lyrics, and I'm not even coming from the sad, not sad angle. I'm coming from the quality of what is actually in these songs, because a lot of the songs that trend, I wonder what were you thinking when you wrote this? Because there's a lot of vulgar rubbish. Permit me to use the word rubbish. So I'm very, very strict with filtering the songs I listen to.
Yes.
I select songs that would I be proud that I listen to this? Like if someone else saw me listen to this, if my mom saw me listen to this, would she be happy? And are these songs actually helping me? So I have songs in my playlist that even when I'm in a bad mood, they comfort me, but they also reaffirm the truth and like help me stay grounded. I listen to songs that challenge the way I think. You probably won't see any songs that someone is repeating the same lyrics or saying yeah, 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 yeah nah, you're not going to find that. So I'm very much pro lyrics. I feel like the beat could be good, but what value are you offering me? What am I going to gain from listening to your song? And for me, actually, sometimes the artist doesn't matter because I am a spiritual person. And if I see an artist, for example, there was an artist that I listened to for a while, I'm not going to mention names, and then I saw her going to pay homage to a deity in a shrine. Oh, it wasn't even me that listened to the artist, it was one of my friends. And I remember texting my friends that, isn't this the person you're listening to? So knowing their values, knowing their beliefs, you won't always be able to find out that much. But from what you can see, is this someone you want to be getting something from? Because they are feeding your mind. Is this the person you want to feed your mind? So lyrics matter for me and artists matter too.
Thank you very much for emphasizing that artists matter a lot, because sometimes I see some, people that become role models, to young people, to teenagers, some of these artists that sing, and I'm like, how is this person your role model? This person needs to be in a psychiatric home with this behavior that you are, displaying publicly. But before we wrap up this segment, I think I want us to talk about the music landscape in Nigeria. There have been conversations from people that are saying that Afrobeat is topping global charts. We're doing so great with our music. There's a lot of art and creativity. Even, yes, I'm going to agree to that. But do you think that there are certain things that we are not paying attention to in our music as Nigerians?
Yep. I'd like to go first if I can. First of all, Tommy, thank you for mentioning that. I think I actually agree with you on that point. The artist does matter as well. I hadn't considered, those kinds of cases. But on the topic that Oluchi mentioned, okay, there are two main things. The first is more important, the message.
Yeah.
The message. Because it's so popular, many people are listening to it. And like we've all been saying, there's a message in the music. Sometimes the message may not even be in the lyrics. Sometimes the message can be in the kinds of dances that people are doing to that music.
Very true.
It's kinds of trends that are coming out of that particular type of music. The music video itself is the message, So are we comfortable really with sending that out, especially with an age right now where teenagers have social media and TikTok on their phones and they can see all that they're seeing? Do we want our children to be watching these types of things or ascribing to these types of things? Are these people going to be our children's role models? Because unfortunately, the other industries, the engineering and tech, medicine and other industries, they don't have as much popularity and hype as the music industry does. So essentially for the young Nigerian right now, Davido or Burna Boy might as well be their president because it's who they see every single day. So are these people sufficient enough role models for our children to follow? What message are they passing across? That's the first thing. The second thing is the music industry itself in Nigeria, unfortunately, isn't as regulated as it's supposed to be. I think I've seen a lot of artists complain about this. People struggle to get record labels. They sometimes fight with their producers. We've seen, even in the gospel scene, singers and their producers fighting over royalty rights and all sorts of things because there's no structure. And if we have such a profitable industry, we need structure so that it doesn't, fall in on itself. And that's something that we need to call the relevant parties to action to.
Thank you very much. Before I allow any other person to speak, there's something I want to mention. I think that even as a society, let me just even speak more about young people. We endorse a lot of these people. We indulge them. I think that's the word to use. We indulge some of these artists. Like Alpha rightly mentioned, some music videos are terrible, but we see it as the sounds that are used on TikTok or on Instagram. And of course, that's the one we want to use for our videos as well. So we're already endorsing these people, like indulging them to keep making music like this. Sometimes, even in their censoring, they take away the curse words in that sense. But why do you even have to blur that part of it? It shouldn't have even been there from the very beginning. And again, speaking about the role model part of it, there are some teenagers today that their role models are certain celebrities. And when you look at these people, you're like, I am scared for your life that this person is the one driving your whole life. So I think that the music landscape in Nigeria has potential, right? We have very talented people in Nigeria. In fact, some talented people have not even got into the spotlight yet. That's something, again, that is happening. The people in the spotlight are people that have been there for ages, and they just have this natural, thing with other people. But I think that there are more talented people in the Nigerian music landscape that needs to get to the spotlight, right? And they would get to the spotlight when we indulge them, rather than just stay with one stereotypical kind of music that we have. Do you understand? So as we begin to wrap up, do you have any last words for us, Tommy and Lizina?
Yeah, I do. I just want to say again about the message thing that Alpha said.
Yeah.
That is very important. I remember growing up, there used to be like intermissions between shows then on TV on African Magic, and they would play some music videos. Most times my parents would scroll away before it gets there, but sometimes they probably went to use the bathroom or something. And I remember wondering why we had music videos like, why is this lady dancing seductively in front of
Half
me?
naked.
And there's so many things that we need to change. Yes, and there's something else I wanted to add as well. We're not telling enough clean stories. We're not telling enough stories. Right now, primarily in the Afrobeat space, we have messages about grass to grace, I've already been in grace, and possibly love. Those are the primary
And women,
three
yes.
messages. We
Money.
need more storytelling. Yes, and women, especially women. Money. Just those are the primary ideas. So we need to tell more stories. What about excellence? What about values?
Yes.
What about friendship? Where do all those topics fall into place?
Yes, very true. Okay. How about you, Lizina, before we begin to wrap up? We have just like 1 minute left.
I actually wanted to touch on both of them with the structural one. I think with the music industry, it is a very much hit or miss situation. So it's okay, let's say you hit with a big song and then like that, people continue to listen more to you. So I think we should actually indulge more in upcoming artists and young people that have potential so that they can be
Yes.
given a chance and a stage to, go further than they actually are. And then with what you said about how, Oluchi, what you said about indulging all of the musics that have like curse words and everything, I think it all goes back to peer pressure. It is about, oh, what are people listening to or what do other people find cool? You may find out that if you actually have a conversation with most young people, they don't really like all of these songs that they're promoting on social media, or they don't like the songs on Instagram. But because every other person is making TikToks to this, then they will do
A
this. Or
challenge.
because every other person is listening to this or going for raves, they will now decide to do this. So I think it really all boils down to peer pressure.
Thank you so much for your very insightful contribution. I've had a very amazing time with everyone here, Alpha, Lizina, and Tommy, and of course, my ladies, my ever-present ladies, Goodness and Triumph. We're going to do this again tomorrow. To our viewers, ensure that you are part of this segment again tomorrow. Do ensure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV so that you do not miss anything that we have for you. This is how we wrap up today's segment. Till tomorrow, stay sharp.